Hey guys, in today's video we take a look at the Zoom H5 handy field recorder. So 3 years after its original debut, is it still a good buy? Well, let's find out. The Zoom H5 was introduced in 2014 and hasn't been physically updated ever since, which is a testament to how much of a good product this is. It was based off of the H6, which is the bigger brother recorder to the H5 with more XLR inputs. However, they both share similar internals and even feature the same preamps. So straight out of the box, you get the user manual, the H5 recorder in a transparent protective case, 2 AA alkaline batteries, a USB mini B cable, a pop filter, and a 2 GB micro SD card with an SD card adapter. The recorder feels high quality. It's got this rubber-like feel to it and doesn't feel the slightest bit cheap. It's got some decent weight to it when you hold it in your hand, and overall just feels very substantial and well built. It's nice to see Zoom including the protective carrying case. After all, this is a $270 recorder. However, the case is on the cheap side. It's made from hard plastic and feels a little flimsy, but it gets the job done. This recorder supports Zoom's interchangeable microphone capsules that are sold separately, and in the box it comes with the base 90-degree stereo XY capsule already attached. The 2 microphones on the capsule are nicely shock mounted, making them ideal for field use where there's some movement involved. I like how Zoom took note of the mistakes from the H6 and made improvements in the H5. So, for example, the gain knobs now have this metal rail on the front to safeguard from unwanted changes in gain. If the device is in your pocket, for example, it's really well thought out. On the front, you also have a number of buttons that can be used to select left-right channels for the attachment microphone, and then channels 1 and 2, which are for your 2 XLR inputs at the bottom of the device. It appears that the left and right channels of the capsules can only be engaged at the same time. You cannot isolate the left and right channels to record them individually. Below that, we have the stop button, the play pause button, the backtrack button, the forward track button, and the record button in red. The buttons all have a quality tactile feel with a solid click response, except for the record button, which feels really squishy. It actually caused me to check twice the very first time I pressed it, simply because I wasn't expecting it to feel the way it did. The display is a backlit monochrome panel, and there's really nothing special about it at all. Expect large pixels and jagged writing. However, it gets the job done. On the left of the device, we have a 3.5mm line out, a 3.5mm headphone jack, 2 volume up and volume down buttons, which are only used during playback from my experience, a USB mini B connector, and the power switch, which also doubles as a hold switch. On the right side of the recorder, we have the SD card slot, which supports up to a 32 GB card, a menu button, a up-down rocker type switch for navigating the menus, and finally, a remote plug. Round the back is a built-in speaker, a 1/4-inch thread to mount onto your tripod should you ever need to, and the battery door, which takes 2 AA batteries. As mentioned before, the included capsule has shock-mounted microphones, and you even get a 3.5mm line input on the right side if you ever want to connect your own microphones. The capsule is easily detached and locked in place by these 2 latches that you press to release. The mic itself in terms of audio quality is pretty impressive. I'll give some audio samples in a minute. The mic features a maximum sound pressure level, or SPL, of 140 decibels, meaning that it can handle extremely loud sound sources. Now, of course, one of the major advantages of a recorder like this is its practicality. This is small enough to fit into your pocket, and yet it delivers outstanding audio quality, and with the XLR inputs, you always have the option to pair those great preamps with really good microphones. Zoom claims 15 hours of battery life from the 2 alkaline batteries, but a more realistic number would be about 12 hours average, which is what I'm getting. And if you're using phantom power a lot, then that number can decrease really quickly. The H5 costs about $270, and that is pricey. However, I believe that in this form factor, the audio quality and features we're getting here, this is pretty much a no-brainer. You can find cheaper recorders like the Tascam DR60D Mark II, but look at the size of that thing, and it just isn't as well designed as the H5. Let's dive into the recorder for a bit and talk more about some of the features. The H5 is able to record in wave 44.1 or 48 kHz at both 16 or 24-bit. It even has a backup recording feature that records a separate track at -12 decibels to protect your audio from distortion in the event that something gets too loud. You also have a low-pass filter that can be selectively activated all the way from 80 to 237 Hz on any of the audio channels. A compression filter that can automatically raise low-level input signals or vice versa, and the ability to provide either 12 volts, 24 volts, or 48 volts of phantom power through the two XLR inputs. There are a lot of features, and frankly I could go on all day, so I'll just list them all and hopefully that'll answer your questions if there are any. Just to give you an idea of the kind of audio you can expect, here's an audio sample using the bundled XY microphone. I'm sitting about 30 centimeters away from the mic right now, and the H5 is recording me. If I go quiet for a bit, hopefully you can get an idea of the noise floor of this mic. This is with all the effects and filters turned off. Now I do apologize, there are quite a few ambient sounds in this room. Now there are a few disappointments here and there, like the terrible pop filter which only seems to somewhat work, the fact that Zoom gives you a 2 GB card, which is quite surprising, and the lack of lockable XLR inputs. Sometimes when moving equipment around or when running and gunning, you might find that your mic is disconnected slightly, which really isn't ideal. Overall, the pros outweigh the cons by a huge amount. It's the portability factor and features that really do it for me. I do not think you can find a field recorder that is this small and this versatile that delivers the kind of features and audio quality that this does. So is this still a good buy in 2017? I'd have to say definitely. I highly recommend this device because it ticks a whole lot of boxes when it comes to features, and the portability factor is unmatched. And if you detach the capsule and just use the H5 body with XLR mics, it's literally the size of an average smartphone. If the price is a little too high for you, then you can always opt for the cheaper H4n Pro, which has some of the same features and actually shares the same preamps as the H5. And if the H5 isn't quite enough for you, then the H6 is one of the best portable field recorders you can buy right now. If you're a filmmaker or someone that just outright wants a good field recorder with outstanding audio quality, then this is a field recorder you should consider without a doubt. It does come at a considerable cost, however I feel that it is a good long-term investment. Thanks for watching, and I hope that this video has been useful to you. Please leave a like or a comment, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. Catch you folks in the next one.